Hello, it's another week. It is another episode of the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
And we are glad to be back with you for another episode all about two words that have become very cliche, the hobby. Have you noticed that when people say the hobby now, it's exhausting?
I think that it has become a catch-all for a lot of things, and it just makes your brain kind of scramble.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. We were not here last week because you decided to have fun.
Yeah, so, we went to the National and came home. Sunday night when we got back, my throat was a little scratchy, but I thought I was just tired from a long week up there. Monday I woke up, felt like ass. Went to worked, wasn't fun. Came home, felt bad. Tuesday, felt worse, went to work.
This is a long story.
Worked all day. Felt terrible. Wednesday, got up, went to work.
What happened Thursday?
Barely got through the day. I call you on my way home from work to ask you something. We get to talking, and you go, hey, did you see a bunch of people were posting that they got COVID at the National? And I went, son of a... I avoided COVID for 4.5 years. I dodged it. Like it was an Olympic sport. I was the gold medalist of dodging COVID. My job requires me to be in 20 different strangers' houses a week. I've done this for years now. All through, dodged it completely. Go to the National, come home. So I go home, take tests. Sure enough, I've got COVID.
Yeah.
And probably had it from Friday or Saturday. And it was gone by Friday. I tested late Friday night because I had a show on Saturday I wanted to go to, and I wasn't going to go if I was positive, and I tested negative. And I feel fine now. I felt better Saturday. Sunday was better, and I'm back to normal flow. But, yeah, we went to the National, and I got cards and COVID.
Well, I mean, it was the perfect place for it. A space with not enough room for all the people, and everybody's touching surfaces.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I did not get COVID, or if I did, it was basically right away. I was exhausted a couple of days, but I never got real sick. But I tend to get it like once every 6 months. So
I literally never had it. And I knew it was bad because that last day at work, I had to pick up a door with a broken spring. And it's a door that normally I would just be able to one hand under a hinge and pick up halfway and get my other hand under it and go. It was crowbar on the ground with my foot, all the strength I had in my body to deadlift 100 pounds. And it was rough. It was not fun. Nobody cares about any of this except for me, but I'm sharing
strangely
anyway.
Specific. For those of you in the garage door space, you know just how sick
you understand.
He was. Yeah. Let's give some final thoughts on the National. I know we talked about it in the pod or in the video on the last day of the National, right?
Yeah, and we talked a little bit because we recorded a pod up there too. But
a lot of you were saying that I did a terrible job editing that, producing it, and you couldn't hear anything. So we'll kind of give a quick recap here. 1, it was exhausting. 2, it was fun. 3, I was a little concerned that some of the cards I got as I was buying these bulks, I didn't get as good a deal. But after getting some listed, I did really well. So I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
I just had to, kind of trust my gut on some of that, on that low end range, which gets a little trickier. A few things I'd probably do differently next time. Next time, I'd actually want to hear some people in the industry speak, maybe some upcoming product type of stuff, a little more hobby related. Probably would want to spend a little more time on one day, hitting different booths where you buy a box and you can get a pack and doing a little more of the stuff that's just exclusive to the National. And I want to focus a little more on the trade night stuff because I have a hunch that you could probably roll up there and hit trade night the first night and let it pay for your weekend with the turnout that you had on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I was very pleased for the most part. Now, the few things that were a little different from my previous National experiences. 1, showcases were exactly what they always are, anywhere from 130 to 250% of comp values, and guys aren't moving off of anything, and that makes sense when you actually stop and think about it, what it costs a dealer with 4 tables to be there. By the time it's all said and done, they're in the show for 5 figures, so you're in a 5-figure hole to start, and you got to get that back. So that's part of it. The biggest thing that was different for me than in the past was the value boxes were solid, but they were not as solid as they've been in past years. Like in past years, consistently, you would be able to 10 to 100x your money in value boxes. And maybe we just missed. Maybe those opportunities were there and we just missed them. I did okay. Just like you probably did a little better than me because the stuff you were targeting was even a little lower than what I was.
Mm-hmm.
But there were times like we had one dealer we went to and sat down and the boxes were really nice. And we started flipping through, made a little stack. And kind of my mode of operation there is go through a row, make a stack, and then check the cards, see where they're at against comps, and see if it makes sense to spend any more time there. And we sat down at one table on the last day, and it was really good stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, something's not right here. Either this stuff's way overpriced or they're putting new stuff out. Because on the last day, there shouldn't be this much. Like, I went through 3 or 4 rows, and I had 60 cards in a stack. I would have spent $500 or $600 at that table without batting an eye. I start comping stuff, and it's way off. Way off. And I just asked the girl, I said, hey, before I take a bunch more time, I just ran numbers on all this stuff, and a lot of it's pretty far off. Are you willing to sell it for right around what current comps are? And she said, well, I don't know. Let me go ask. And she goes to ask the guy who runs the booth, and I could see the steam start coming off of his head as soon as she started talking to him. And I wasn't aggressive or anything. He came over and he goes, yeah, I mean, unless comps have changed in 2 days, this stuff was all comped right before we came to the show, and the prices are dead on. And he's very aggressive about it. And in my mind, I'm going,
Dude had 100,000 cards.
Yeah,
too.
I just checked comps on these, and half the cards I pulled out haven't had a sale since 2022.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't just comp all these cards. It's a lie. I didn't say that, but I said, oh, okay, well, I guess never mind then. And he was like, yeah, cool, never mind then. And I just put a bunch of stuff back. I bought the 3 cards that he had not comped since 2020 that are worth 5 times now what they were then, and went on with my day. You, on the other hand, at the exact same table, got a giant stack for like 65%.
Yeah, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it sometimes. And that guy felt your energy immediately, and it was over. I told you that. I told you that. Was he delusional and lying about the comps? 100%. But he was not wanting to do anything with you.
That's a fact. And I really thought that I was just nice and polite and just asking a question.
Those of you that just heard the story also felt what I did when he repeated it. And let me rest assured, those are pretty much the words. I do think the tone may have been a little different. But, yeah, he kind of told him that. But you could see that it wasn't working. And what I love about you, Gary, is that it doesn't ever stop you from saying exactly what you want to say.
Nope.
I think you realize this was heading south, and you're like, I'm still going to finish my thought. Sir, these are way off.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah,
so you have a nice day.
I would agree with that. We were VIP, but we did not go the first night. And after watching some content from guys that are like high volume sellers that hit that like, anything from like $2 to $50 for their eBay stores, it was the first night. You had to hit those boxes the first night. The other thing is some of these guys reach out to guys with specific tables ahead of the National, tell them what they're looking for, connect with them ahead of time. I think that really probably helps with them. If somebody knows first day that they come in, they are in all this money on their booth, and I have somebody that's going to spend several $100s with me right away, let me be more accommodating.
Yeah.
But I'd agree with that a little bit. I don't know what all we saw.
I think we still missed 25% of the show.
Yeah.
I really do. And we were there 8 to 10 hours a day for 4 days.
One thing that's really cool, obviously like my Instagram and my TikTok socials are going to just have like a bunch of sports-related content. And it was neat seeing how many non-card-related like social channels for sports and pop culture were showing these different celebrities dapping up and saying hey to each other at the National.
Yep.
And it was like all the comments like, oh my gosh, what are all these people doing in the same room? So that was kind of neat to see. Neat to see some of those interactions.
For sure.
Pedro Martinez is like a mayor. He went walking in, and then Sammy.
Kissing babies.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa in there. It was cool seeing these guys joke around, and they all look kind of old. And it's like a weird render that
Sammy
it's been a
Sosa
minute.
looks old and like he laid out in the sun for
I knew
a
you were
really
going to
long
say
time.
something that you shouldn't. That you shouldn't. So I'll change the subject now. Anyway, so next year I definitely would go up the first night. I think there's a big advantage in that. Also, whatever promotions are available at booths or giveaways and all that, if there's a site, I haven't found it, but it would be sweet if there was one place where you could find that. You kind of have to just know your stuff and have been there a while. But there were some more things like that to take advantage of. I was surprised a little bit to see some of the mainstream influencers who are ultra positive about everything, even to the point where it feels salesy.
Cheesy, yeah.
Were pretty frustrated and disappointed with the national from a couple perspectives. And I didn't think about it like this. I mean, part of the reason that the hobby has had a massive amount of growth, one, obviously we talked about just COVID, everybody being home, having a little bit of spending money. But also it's because of social media. It's because it's not just old guys that collect vintage baseball anymore.
Right.
It's, younger people. And what's surprising to me is, I hadn't considered the perspective of there's a lot of people that were set up there, but their income is content. And they're saying, like, technologically, how did they not figure out Wi-Fi? How did they not figure out?
See, I didn't have any issues with the Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people did.
I was at several tables where dealers were trying to pull it up, but there's a difference in some ways. Many people are looking directly in a showcase and just comping. A lot of that stuff lives in your brain, and you're going through boxes where, for the most part, you know what you got there.
No, that's true. But,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, literally every time I needed to pull my phone out, I had no issues.
That's ironic.
I heard people complain. I know you struggle with it too, but I had no issues at all.
No, there were dealers that had laptops out. They were asking to use the other guy's phone. It wasn't working. There were people that needed it to do content, and many of them couldn't. It basically removed the opportunity to go live. If you think about,
Right.
That had to be a big part of the planning for a lot of these people delivering content or,
Right.
Building an audience or doing something special like that. So, it was interesting seeing that much negativity. And then, but the consensus in the main interview I saw, not two people that I follow a lot, but Jeff Wilson and Ryan with from Car Collector 2, talking about, like, the actual draw we have, like, you need a building like almost as, like, you need an even bigger space than we had. An IX Center is massive, but it's just like that's how many people are going to this thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many facilities that are that much bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Columbus could accommodate parking at all at the convention center. And, I mean, you could use all three of the grand ballrooms downstairs, the grand convention rooms, and probably be about 30% bigger than what the IX Center was. But I don't know that they have the parking down there.
Well, I wasn't saying Columbus. I'm just saying in general.
I'm just thinking of places that have bigger spaces. Like, you could probably do something in New York, but again, then you're dealing with parking issues.
Well, and it's going to be so expensive. Like, that's part of the issue. Like,
that's why they keep it in the Midwest.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm wondering, does Fanatics Fest put like a little bit of a dent in it? Do we start seeing more focus on big regional shows being bigger? But I just can't imagine that those being successful would somehow make it more manageable for the national.
No, the big regional shows are already big. Nashville's massive.
Yep.
Dallas is massive. The East Coast National is massive. The show that Burbank puts on is massive.
Yeah.
Houston is massive. Like, there's big shows around the country. Shoot the Midwest Monster in Indy is massive. So Xenia is a big show.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a monthly. It's a 300 table monthly show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It is hard to imagine what type of facility could, so then there becomes a simple solution if it matters that much, which it probably won't. But you can do tickets where they sell out. You could do, hey, general admission is, last year we exceeded our expectation with capacity. And then as a vendor, knowing that it's a sold out crowd's not going to be a bad thing to me either. If it means that facilities accommodate a little more shopping around. So
yeah, but if that happens, if they do that, then the prices are going to probably go up by 30%. You know, I thought
that was an issue. It was an issue. You're at the point where, and maybe there's some people that they just want to go blow money on a card. Not everybody is looking. I understand not everybody is looking at cards like Gary and I were
for inventory, right?
Inventory or what's the room on this. I understand that, but even a collector that's looking for a Clemente rookie, right, or a piece that's got a more like a pricing that's been pretty standard with lots of comps. They know if it's 30, 40, 50, 75% over comps, then you guys are paying a lot of money for show and tell. If it's, I don't know. It's just
a lot of the people who are at the National, I would say realistically that probably only 25% of the people that are there are you and me that are like looking for real margin. The vast majority of the people that are there for one of two reasons. They're either there to just buy the stuff they like, or they're there to just experience it and see it.
Yeah.
And like eyes big, eyes wide. Holy crap, this is massive. We did have fun the last day though. We did not rip any wax the whole week, and then we went to the Hit Parade booth, and we both decided, hey, let's roll the dice.
Yeah.
Let's get some Hit Parade boxes. I bought 3, and you bought 1. I did not come out ahead, but I didn't lose my tail either. I ended up selling. I spent $660 on those 3 boxes, and I ended up selling all the stuff I got out of those boxes for right around $500, which I'll take that if I'm ripping wax. That's like a 68 to 70% return. Okay,
Yeah.
For the chance to do something big. You, on the other hand, I'll let you share what you did in your 1 box.
Yeah, I don't usually like repack, especially with like ultra modern, because for me it's like it could go so many different ways. But or you end up with a player that's not really exciting, but they had excitement last year and you're hoping to sell it. But they had a vintage product at Hit Parade. It was a case of 100 boxes, and then I opened up just to see some of the chasers. There was some good stuff in there, so Gary opens his box, I open mine, and there's like a case hit slip on there.
It's a
and
little
gold.
cover. It either says Hit Parade or case hit.
Yeah, and I had a case hit, and I hit the Ernie Banks rookie.
PSA
3
or
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Hey, your $200 turned into a $1,300 card. It was a big win. You were pretty excited. It was awesome.
It's a good way to end that.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
But yeah, that was pretty sweet. Crazy amount of people there.
I mean, for your first national, what was your overall, like, something that in your mind you say, yeah, that was awesome, I want to make sure I don't miss these? Or was it like, it was fine, maybe we'll go next year? What was your takeaway?
I think I would go again. I probably was a little too much about work, and I wore myself out, rather than like, all right, I've been digging through this box for 7 hours on the second day. I'm going to go fart around and just see some cool stuff, walk through the exhibits, all that. It was so peoply that it was uncomfortable for me.
Well, yeah, and
like,
when
I
all
honestly
the people
felt
have
pretty
backpacks
anxious,
on, we were just like, it was tight. Now, Sunday was nice.
Yeah.
It was half the people.
Yeah, Sunday was great for the crowd. Pretty sure I was walking around with the vid that day.
Oh, I definitely was. 100%.
So, but no, I think it was good. I think that would be my encouragement. There's probably a lot of people like me that you're just now getting back to these events, and it's more on the side of somebody that's doing this for a side hustle or business or whatever. Don't forget to like look at the stuff you like and
have fun,
enjoy it. Yeah. So that was it. I am not content with, well, it's just a national and there's just so many people, there's no way around. They have to do a better job. So if it's supposed to be the best show, then I'd expect facilities and lines and Wi-Fi and bathrooms and all that kind of stuff to be different for a show. You know, we had talked about if you go to a big sporting event, this and that. I'm expecting at a sporting event. I wasn't expecting that to be the case, and it seems like a lot of people felt like I did about that. Just the length of waiting for everything. So yeah, plan appropriately. Pack a snack next time, maybe.
Right.
So, do you got anything else on the national?
No, that pretty much sums it up. I just wanted to make sure we gave a good recap of our week up there.
Yeah, I was able to get just about everything listed already, which is really cool. That's one thing I love about using the scanner. Is I had this stuff in. I've already processed it. Within a week, it was already on eBay. A lot of it's already sold. So speaking of sold, I just got crushed on a Jordan lot.
Nice.
I didn't get crushed, but
you did. There you go. He gets all excited. His phone didn't make the cha-ching sound like it normally does.
No, I got crushed. I had a lot of Jordans on auction.
Oh.
And I couldn't figure out how to schedule it, so I just said, screw it, run it. And I got like $1 a piece on them. But
yeah.
Not
You'd
the
have done
best.
better doing them individually.
But I sold 36 at a time.
Yeah.
I got like 37.50. So
Yep.
anyway, let's talk about the disaster that is the Optic first off the line football situation. If you didn't see it, you've been living under a rock or just burnt out from the national. But cases of this product have been loaded with ridiculous amounts of was it the downtowns, the gold downtowns,
Black Pandoras.
Yeah.
It was so. At first, the first one it happened with was a backyard breaks case, and everybody was just like, "Oh, see, backyard breaks just keeps getting stuff." Well, as release day for first off the line kept going, it was damn near 50% of the cases. Not just breakers. Like, guys are just posting their own personal cases with 30-plus downtowns in 12-box cases. 3, 4, 5 golds. 6, 7, 8 Black Pandoras, which are supposed to be numbered to 25. Panini, after about a week, releases the most generic, unassuring statement you've ever seen. This is a company that has literally stopped caring. And they went, basically, in a nutshell, we looked into this, and it happened. Sorry. That was basically the
pretty much.
They basically overprinted downtowns by about 30x and just dropped them into a product, and the downtown market has taken a 20% hit, 25% hit this week because of it.
I agree. This is travesty. I also am not like a huge downtown fan.
I wish I'd have bought a case of first off the line.
For the money, yeah.
I wish I'd have spent $12,000.
Okay. I understand the rarity and I understand the uniqueness. Maybe I'm a little bit old school on it. I just don't really like the design of it. I mean, I hit one, I sold it. I love that it's liquid. I love that it's a short print, but it's kind of cartoony. And you have the kaboom.
I like the old school ones. The old school ones that were actually cartoony. They went out of their way to almost make them caricatures.
Yeah.
Those were cool.
What was the first year of those?
Oh, 20.
Kyler's rookie?
No, way before that.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
2012, 2013?
Oh, I don't think I've seen an older one.
Yeah, so Kabooms were the first to come out, and they were in Crown Royale.
Downtowns.
Yeah. But then a couple years later, Downtowns came. So, yeah, I don't necessarily get the appeal of them either, but as a dealer, you can't keep them.
Soon as you,
if I can buy them, I'll pay 85-90% for them because I can sell them for $100 real fast.
And a lot of times 110.
Yeah, it's just it's a very easy thing to move. So when I have the opportunity to get them, I do. But you talk about something just kicking that market in the teeth, watching this happen, and it's obvious that they overprinted them because in their statement they said this does not impact the odds for any of our other Optic hobby products.
Yeah, which means then they reprint them? Did they overprint them intentionally?
I don't think it was intentional, but I think that their printing and collation facility 30x printed and then collated them all into first off the line stuff.
Yeah.
And they didn't even collate them well or evenly. It was just like
yeah, so that also means a great number of breakers ripped cases upon cases without this?
Well, this was just first off the line.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a guarantee, but I didn't see a single case that didn't have at least 3 or 4, and there's supposed to be 1 per.
Yeah.
And then tons of cases were 25 to 35 per.
Yeah.
Like there was one breaker that averaged 3 a box in a 12-box case. It had 36 of them. That's insane.
That one guy that said, "Screw it, I'm buying 10 teams."
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, once you see it, but I will say this: once people started seeing what was happening, the prices, I started to try to jump into a first off the line case.
Yeah.
Random teams auctioning spots. Spots were going for $350 to $400 a piece.
See, that's when I'm just like, is this a mistake?
Well, yeah, I was just like, I'm out. Well, but I mean, it was Breakers getting it, not Panini.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Panini got whatever the first off the line Dutch auction ended at.
Yeah.
So
I'm not disagreeing with it.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think it was on purpose. That's giving Panini way more credit than I'm willing to give them. I think it was just a complete screw up from a company who has lost their licenses, knows that they're on their way out. They're starting to introduce really crappy products.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we saw at the National was Leaf has done Pop Century for a while, and it's a very popular product. It may be their most popular product.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people who don't even collect sports cards buy Leaf Pop Century stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw a big display so Wild Card owns Illumination and all those companies, those brands. They had a massive booth at the National, and they're releasing their own pop culture product that actually looks really good. It looked nice. Well, Panini was like, we can't not have this product too. So they're releasing Prism Pop Culture. I would really encourage anybody listening to just go Google that and go look at the pile of dog duty that they're trying to drop onto the hobby. This stuff looks awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
Just truly bad.
Yeah, Wildcard was launching a Decades product that was basically something similar. Like, so there's more interest in that, that section of the market than there was before. But I mean, Panini's got to be scrambling to say, all right, we've got X amount of years to squeeze what we can. We're getting really narrowed down here on our options, so they're going to have to start, trying some new products. But I just go back to remember when they just kept jacking up the price of hobby over and over and over and over on every release.
Yep.
How the turntables, in the words of Michael Scott. All right, let's keep it moving. Another announcement from Topps is that they are doing they're doing the buyback again on Topps Chrome, but they're doing a little spin on it. The stamped buybacks can fetch a different bounty, a larger bounty from last year.
Yes, that's what I say. Make sure you explain what that is.
If the player wins again. So basically, the only thing that can happen is Shohei, really?
Right, because Acuna's not going to win again. But if Ohtani wins the National League MVP this year, if you hit any of his buybacks from last year that got reinserted into Topps Chrome this year, they have some pretty big bounties on them. Like the lowest one is $400, and the highest one's like $1,200. Yeah. And I'd say he's in a pretty good position to win that award. So it might be a decent play if you can find somebody willing to sell them a little cheaper than what they're going for. Then you may be able to turn that into real stuff. And remember, if your hobby shop is participating in this, it's not just redeemable for more Topps product. It's store credit. So you get a $1,200 turn-in. Don't go buy 2 or 3 hobby boxes of something. Go get a nice $1,200 single, or 2 or 3 $400 singles, or whatever. And
or just grab a dollar box and walk out the store with it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But that would be your move for sure. But my point is don't take something that's guaranteed money and go gamble with it. That's just not smart if you're wanting to increase your portfolio value.
Yeah. I don't care what you do, but don't expect that to keep happening.
Right.
The one, like, I want to have another one of these Topps Chrome boxes.
Right, exactly. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think it's cool that they're, giving you a little something to chase there. Oh, I didn't mention
what's that? What did you
I did
not
get in on a
mention?
case break of Topps Museum 24. And I had a few hits out of it. I went with the Astros because there are some Nolan Ryan autos in there, and I thought, that wouldn't be a bad vet to hit out of a product like that.
Sure.
I got 3 hits out of the case. Altuve frame auto to 20 with the gold ink. Quad patch of Bregman and Kyler, 2 of each of them, which is kind of weird. And then this
Kyler or Kyle Tucker?
Kyle Tucker, sorry.
Okay.
And then this artist proof insert of Jordan, which actually was like $20-$30
Yeah.
right now. So I think I did actually okay on the break. It is a fun product to see open. I definitely do not recommend just buying one box of it.
No.
If somebody's doing a case or two and you can grab a team, I got one where they were trying to fill it. So I got the team at like 25% off of where they were, and I got more than my money back. So it was worth it for me.
Yeah, it was a win.
But pretty fun product. There is a teaser out there, if you haven't seen it yet, Topps Chrome basketball release. Youch.
Yeah, we really looked at we didn't dive deep into the checklist of it, mostly because I don't think either one of us cares that much. But we did look at the designs, and one of the things that you pointed out is it looks like they're trying to, restart up some of the old school, well-loved 90s and early 2000s inserts, and that's fine. But man, some of the new ones, and then the base card design, ooh, it is not good.
It looks like Big League Baseball, kind of.
Yeah, it's not good at all. There's too much going on, and then it's this weird mix of kind of futuristic, colorful backgrounds, and then this real cartoony border. Like it just
like Cosmic and Big League made a
had a
basketball
baby. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I was a little bummed out. Is it something I'll probably still rip if it's like a cheaper? Yeah, because it's Topps. They're gonna have the license. Obviously, Wemby's in here. Like, there's going to be a really good market on the repeat, like the die cut. What was that? Solid Rock,
Rock Stars,
Stars, like any of that kind of stuff. It will be pretty hot right away when it opens. But just visually, I was just hoping for it to look more of like that 2003 to 2010 Topps Chrome. Really.
Yeah, I was hoping for a much better base card design.
Are they able to do action shots with the license they have, or do they all have to be studio? Because that might be part of the reason I don't like it.
You can do action shots. I mean, some of the stuff we saw were action shots, but anything you can do in a studio makes your post time much less, because when you're doing action shots, there's a lot of airbrushing work that you have to do.
Yeah, I think what I love about Topps Chrome basketball is you usually had a scene. Like, it wasn't it wasn't often it was up close of one person, even if they're shooting and everything's been whited out behind them. So it probably is exactly what you're saying. That's where it falls a little short for me.
Right.
Just keep that border simple. Do all the other inserts and stuff you want. Do all the parallels you want, but like the base should just kind of look like Topps Chrome. That's kind of what makes it neat.
Yeah.
So who knows? I might fall down a rabbit hole and fall in love with it.
Which is insane, because the Topps football continuity or continuum, whichever it was, I can't remember what they call it. But either way, those cards looked amazing. The previews of those cards looked amazing.
Oh, composite?
Yeah. Topps composite.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. I'm almost like they were trying to help you imagine the logos, but maybe that's just, on the website or whatever. Now that we're seeing some cards, I don't know. I haven't pulled up a checklist. You want to do this live checklist thing that we always do?
We can, but it's going to be the thing with the basketball stuff is, for me personally, I just don't care. Like, unless the Hall of Fame stuff is awesome.
That's exactly what I want to see.
Like, there's not going to be Jordan autos, because he's exclusive to Upper Deck. There's not going to be LeBron autos, because he's also exclusive to Upper Deck. I don't know, like, you going to chase Wemby, I guess.
Are these going to be on card then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll be on card.
That's it. That's a plus. In my opinion, that's a plus. All right, let's see.
So, like, they're redoing the 72 set, the 72 design for part of this for autographs. But
whoa,
what are you wowing?
LeBron James Time Machine autograph.
Oh, well, maybe there are going to be LeBron autos in here. There is a super.
There is a super of LeBron.
It is one card.
1 out of 581,208 packs.
Yeah.
And it's in the Cavs.
Interesting.
Oh, look here. James
LeBron
gold
is signing
auto
for this
refractors.
stuff. Maybe he's not exclusive to Upper Deck anymore. Maybe that contract expired.
Okay, LeBron's got autos, a black refractor, red geometric, super. That changes a lot.
Yeah.
That changes. So by doing that, now they can charge way more than they should.
Yeah.
Which is what's going to happen. That's actually a little surprising. Certified autograph checklist, 1 in 580 blasters. 1 in 551. I mean, is this a
hanger boxes?
What's
so
the
there's going to
difference?
be retail. Well, a hanger box is a hanger
No,
box.
no.
So those
Is
look
that
like
packs or boxes?
that's pack. That's
Okay.
boxes. No, that's boxes. So that's the retail stuff.
Yeah. So dang, that's a bit of a chase there. It's a bit of a chase.
Yeah.
Trying to look through here and see if I can get. There's got to be a vet.
Well, it's not just vet. It's just everybody. Like, I don't see a ton of Hall of Famers listed.
Dominique Wilkins, David Robinson.
Like,
Bill-
that's all stuff
Bill
that
Walton.
Elvin Hayes. I mean, there's no names that I see that I'm excited about.
Shaq. That'll be cool.
Yeah, look for that Sadiq
Wow.
Bey auto.
It's not a very steep Hall of Fame.
no,
We got
it's not.
Sean Kemp.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a product that I'll rip at all. There's Larry Bird. That's fine.
Peja Stojakovic.
Yeah, LeBron autos are in here. That's very interesting.
So that's definitely going to be what all that you hear from the Breakers. Guys, come on.
How are they getting Peja autos? Isn't he dead?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I actually don't know. If he's
Oh,
alive.
okay. I thought he got killed in a car accident.
If you're wrong, that's really a hot take.
Well, no, I'm double checking it, but one of those European guys
One of those European
make it.
guys.
didn't make it to late life.
Hakeem Olajuwon. That's pretty sweet.
Oh no, Paige is still alive. I swear I thought he died. I swear I thought he died. Which one of those guys that was a shooter? One of those guys did not make
man.
it through the 90s. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, there is a lengthy. I mean, if this is the autograph checklist that I was just looking through, there's going to be a lot of cards. I didn't see the configuration here. How many are in the set? 190 in the base, and then just a million parallels.
Yeah.
That's pretty low.
It's a small checklist.
It's a pretty small checklist, yeah. But yeah, interesting. We'll see. If they, what price point are you expecting on this? Below 2?
I mean, I would no, it won't be below 2. Not with LeBron autos. My guess is it'll be like $299.
Yeah.
$299 or $329 will be the MSRP.
I don't know, man. I'll definitely watch some case breaks of that. That'll be a fun one to just see what gets pulled in it. I can't wait for it all to be licensed and then football.
Right.
What
else we got?
Is that it? Is that all that we have? That's all I have.
Did we cross that? Where are we at time wise here? I think we've given the people a nice solid 45-minute episode here. Now
38.
38
It's because we
minutes.
didn't have much witty banter today. That's why.
I mean,
Just
you are dressed like a lumberjack right now.
it's cold down in the studio.
Well, it feels really good to me because I rode the Spider up here to the studio, and it was like 102 degrees outside, so that was fun.
If you don't know what a Spider is, it's a reverse tricycle that women ride that has a motor on it.
That's aggressive.
You probably have a PE teacher that owns one. Just
Wow.
she prefers you call her Nance.
So let me get this straight. I can't make a joke about Sammy Sosa's bleached skin, but you can make that joke.
What?
You're
I love my PE teacher.
okay.
But why did you bring that back up again?
Well, I'm just saying, I just find there's an interesting level of what's okay and what's
Let's
not
unpack this a
okay.
little bit. What is it that I was saying?
I think everybody knows what you were saying. Do you want me to break it down for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women drive.
You made
The
a
Spider.
You made a butch lesbian joke about the motorcycle.
I did
that
not
wear.
at all.
Oh, you absolutely did.
Nance, my PE coach, was a happily married woman to her husband of 49 years. So I don't know
Okay.
what you're talking about with that.
Okay.
Did that make you feel better?
I'm just saying that's the joke that you made, and we all know that that's the joke you made.
I don't know if we get into a debate over what I may have been alluding to and what you directly said about Sammy Sosa, but I think
Had some bad plastic surgery, yeah.
I think talking any further about this would not be beneficial for either one of us.
Oh, I did have one other
boy,
thing.
here we go.
No, I'm throwing a bone to the audience here. late season minor league baseball, if you want a sleeper that I think probably gets called up at some point either later this month or early September, Red Sox, Chase Maedroth. It's Meidroth. He was drafted in 2022 out of college. He is 22 years old. He may have just turned 23. He is Stephen Kwan-like. End zone contact rates are 94%. He does not strike out. He's got like.
Did you say what product he's in yet?
He's in 2022 Bowman draft.
22. Okay.
He's got like 90 walks and 40 strikeouts this year. He hits the ball a little harder than Kwan does, but he's not going to be a huge power guy. But in Boston, his swing, he will bounce a lot of doubles off the Green Monster. And I think he's a late season call-up this year that can help them in a playoff push. And his stuff is not insanely expensive. I've bought 5 or 6 first autos over the last 3 or 4 days. And his market is starting to go up because people are starting to pay a little bit of attention. So you've got a little bit of a window here. It's not somebody that I think you're going to buy and hold for 3 years. But if you buy him, wait till call-up. He comes up his first game or two, plays well, is hitting 360, 370. He has that little Reese Hines first week up type action. You got a good window to 2 or 3 extra money. So little Bowman prospect tip for you for the week.
There it is. Go buy him. This has been the Ball Card Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collective.
Bye now.
Peace.